What if you were a stone-cold killer that couldn't be stopped? Would you join a stone-cold killer contest just to win and take all the money? Or would you join it for some other reasons? Hey everybody, this is Yusef for Video Game Plot Summaries, and today we're looking at MadWorld. Jefferson Island, which is definitely not New York City, is being blocked off by terrorists. Anyone that comes in is getting shot down. The mayor of the city, that sort of looks like Donald Trump, says he sent in a special team of Marines to handle the situation. Why he would tell the public that is beyond me. Don't they normally just tell everyone that they are working quickly to handle the situation or something? Anyway, this team of special Marines seems to be one badass with a chainsaw arm known as Jack. Just Jack. Apparently, there is a game inside called Deathwatch where the contestants kill each other for cash. Jack needs a sponsor, so he finds one in a mysterious figure named 13. I mean, they were sponsoring this other guy, but, well, let's just say he got injured before he could start. So, Jack puts in the little Bluetooth communicator and heads into the Deathwatch walls. A little about Deathwatch. It's a game show in which you get points based on the creativity of your kills. If you daisy chain kills together, you get a multiplier. There are also bonus games that give you an insane amount of points called Bloodbath Challenges. All of them come with a cutscene featuring the pimpalicious Black Baron and his dominatrix girlfriend Matilda, who kills him in every scene using the challenge prop. They are great. Once the contestant gets enough points, a bell pops up for them to hit and start the singles fight with a higher ranked opponent. All of it is played on Shock TV 86 with two very colorful commentators, Chris Keeley, the analyst, played by John DiMaggio, Jake from Adventure Time, and Bender from Futurama. And Howard Buckshot Holmes, played by Greg Proops, does the play-by-play. Greg Proops is one of my favorite improv comedians of the 90s. I mean, whose line is it anyway? His hilarious one-liners are always on point.
You know what I don't get? I don't get why they call him Little Eddie when he's so fucking big.
I think it's supposed to be ironic.
What?
Sorry for nerding out. Back to the story. In Varigan City, Jack's first opponent is Little Eddie. He's a tank with a ball and chain, which, of course, Jack beats him to death with. On his way downtown, Jack disappears away from the Deathwatch cameras to shoot off a canister into the air. Then he comes back and tells 13 he needed to piss.
The cameras can't see every nook and cranny, I get it. So you want me to hold it unless you're there to catch every last drop?
Jack's next challenge is Jude the Dude. He is a gunslinger on rollerblades. Jack, of course, shoots him to death with his own guns. Jack rides the red line to fight Von Twirlenkiller, or Twirlenkiller? He's got gauntlets that create tornadoes. Jack literally disarms him and Twirlen kills him with his own gauntlets. You get the idea. After that, it is revealed that Jack has a hacker partner named Amala on the earpiece in his other ear. She ran tests on the canister that Jack shot off earlier and reports that there is no airborne virus in Varigan City. I wonder what that is about. Jack hears a gunshot from a .22 caliber gun and heads towards it since no one in the game, other than some ranked players and organizers, get them. A .22 caliber is not big enough of a gun, so it raises Jack's suspicions. That leads him to Asia Town, where he finds a guy from the hospital about to get murked by some goons. Jack saves him and rolls on through the stage to meet Rin Rin, a pretty kung fu chick with boomerang fans. This time, Jack feeds her to a Chinese food robot ad. Jack moves through the bistro, saves 3 geishas, and fights a shogun, a samurai with a saw staff. After the shogun gets impaled, 13 explains the history of the games. Apparently, the Deathwatch games are thousands of years old. They have been used to settle disputes in place of actual wars in which the death toll would be considerably higher. 13 also reveals that he knows Jack is an old Deathwatch competitor and welcomes him back.
It's good to be home.
I guess he just lost his sponsor. After that, Jack goes directly to an arena to fight Yokozuna. Jack shoots him into a volcano. Jack finds a civilian who identifies himself as Leo Falmont, a resident at Jefferson City Hospital. Jack is not impressed because Leo is still alive. They sprayed the island with a virus, so every civilian is dead but him. Instead of answering the question immediately, Leo tells a flashback. So, it was a nice day in not New York when a guy appeared on all the TVs informing everyone that there is no way out and no lines of communication. They also have sprayed the entire city with an airborne biological virus and everyone is infected. You see, they have this Deathwatch game that they're setting up for, and they need the area cleared so the civilians only have 2 choices. Die a horrible death due to this virus, or kill somebody, become a contestant in a Deathwatch game, and receive a vaccine. Jack asks Leo who he killed to get the vaccine, but Leo tells a lame story about how he got the vaccine from somebody who received the vaccine from killing somebody else. When Jack insinuates that Leo killed the killer, Leo says that the guy died of the virus before he could take the vaccine. Isn't that a bunch of horse crap? Who the hell would buy that story? And how the hell are you healthy enough to kill somebody but sick enough not to take the vaccine immediately when you get it? Amala chimes in and tells Jack that Leo's story checks out. So with that, Jack revealed to Leo that he wasn't a contestant in Deathwatch, but he isn't part of the military either. All the satellites and signals are jammed, so nobody from the outside knows that Deathwatch is even happening. So that means that everyone watching Shock TV is in the area? Also, Amala must be in the area too, since she got the samples and tested them so quickly. I thought that she was somewhere outside of the vicinity, but that has to be impossible. Anyway, Jack tells Leo to find a hole and hide in it because no one is here to save him, including Jack.
Sorry, kid. I've got things to take care of. I don't help people. I kill them.
Meanwhile, the man running Deathwatch is digging up research on Jack Kamen. Jack is a highly decorated Marine and former detective that had a falling out with the police because they didn't like his strategy on a kidnapping case. Now he works in the Chasers Guild, which is a group of high-level bounty hunters, of which we never meet anyone in the guild other than Jack and Amala. So with that knowledge, the Game Master wonders who it is that Jack is chasing. He cycles through the list of Death Watchers and spots that the mayor's only child, Naomi Ann Boras, is in the group. Since everyone on the outside thinks that it's a terrorist situation, it makes sense for the mayor to send his own private rescue man in to pick her up. Jack heads to the Mad Castle courtyard and destroys the wolf cosplaying shamans. Before Jack heads to the dungeon of the Mad Castle, Amala informs him that Mayor Boris had the castle imported from Austria to serve as a really upscale hotel. But it was supposed to be a gift for his daughter Naomi. The day she had a party for all her friends in the hotel was the exact same day that Deathwatch happened. Dang, she ain't even trying to be slick. Anyway, Jack starts moving and finds out quickly that the Game Master has put a bounty on his head of $1 million, and exposes that the mayor sent him to rescue Naomi. Naomi, who is still having a party at the castle Jack is in, sees her white knight is coming to save her, and she is really happy about that. Meanwhile, back at the command center of the Game Master, he is readjusting the odds against Jack for the betting. The Game Master is certain that Jack will die soon with the bounty on his head. Jack moves through the dungeon and ends up destroying a huge Frankenstein monster and a big-breasted vampire named Elise. When Jack finally gets to Naomi's room, he is met with the applause of the other partygoers. Naomi checks him out, thanks him, and gives him a reward. But Jack isn't impressed. He puts together that all of this crap is a show for her opening ceremony at the hotel. He signals to Amala to have the mayor taken into custody. When Naomi tries to tell Jack that her father doesn't know anything about this, Jack pimp slaps her with the metal arm. That's what I'm talking about. Upcomings.
You're right. Should have probably killed the bitch, but I got work to do.
He tells Amala that he's got a new mission objective and continues on the path of the Deathwatch games. At the same time, the Game Master sees that Jack is talking to somebody but can't figure out who because the line is encrypted. His computer guy informs him that 30% of the people bet on Jack to beat that last stage, and, since there was no point limit, some people bet in 6 figures. So now, they are in the hole $145 million! That money makes no sense to me. $1 million, $1 billion, all a bunch of money that I probably won't even earn in my whole lifetime. So me saying $145 million seems to be a big number, but I'm just like, yeah, that's a lot, I guess. I don't know. A lot more money than I can swim around in naked, that's for sure. Because Jack is so popular now, they can't just kill him with a sniper rifle or something. Now they have to kill him publicly. One of the computer guys points out that there is some weird installation hidden underground. The Game Master sends Jack there and changes the odds so they can get their money back, but then cancels the feed on Jack and tells everyone that he went off the grid. So Jack follows the trail and heads to the underground installation called Area 66, where all of the aliens are hidden. He runs into his own doppelganger named Kojak. Jack destroys Kojak, and just then the Game Master finds out that the audience doesn't believe Jack is off the grid, so they threaten to pull out of the betting completely until they turn the video feed back on Jack. Jack is sure making it difficult for the Game Master. The Game Master is consumed trying to figure out what Jack is actually trying to do. He discovers that Jack's sponsor at the beginning was 13, real name Lord Gesser. So anyway, with Jack's feedback on, he goes to the facility holding all the aliens. He ends up fighting 2 telekinetics called the Masters. Back at the command center, the Game Master gets a hold of Lord Gesser. And Gesser calls the Game Master Noah and tells him to check Jack's DNA. Now, I don't know why Gesser didn't just tell Noah who Jack really was, and I don't even know if it's possible just to get someone's blood and run it through a database of everyone there is just to ID them. But whatever. Jack's next target is an alien who is controlling a giant killer robot remotely. And after destroying the robot, that puts Jack's ranking at number 2. That's when Noah figures out who Jack really is. Apparently, Jack is the reigning Deathwatch champion. He was thought to be dead, but he had a lot of cosmetic surgery done and all of his official papers remade. The government had a clue that the island was shut down because of Deathwatch, but they don't know how it works. So they sent Jack in to get to the bottom of everything. So first he's a regular contestant, Then he's an operative for the Chasers Guild with Amala retrieving the mayor's daughter. And now he's working for the FBI as a spy to infiltrate Deathwatch? You see, after Jack won Deathwatch 3 times, he couldn't quite get out. So the Bureau hooked him up in exchange for the information he had on this secret game. Kinda like witness protection for killers. But good killers. Anyway, Noah is super pissed that he's been played and is ready to spare no expense in killing Jack. But then Noah's boss comes to the door and surprise, surprise, it's Leo the civilian with a suspect story from earlier in the game. Leo orders that Jack stay in the contest because if they get rid of Jack without letting him follow through, then Lord Guesser will be very upset, and that is much worse. In the meantime, Amala informs Jack that he's been made, and Jack, in turn, tells Amala to find where the paper trail leads so he knows who is running the games. Then he starts to fight his way to the #1 ranked player.
Who wants a piece of the champ?
A little later, Amala gets in touch with Jack and tells him that they've tracked down the arms dealer who's supplying the weapons for Deathwatch. But Jack guesses that someone high up in the government came in and got him before he was even interrogated. That's when Amala gets a lesson in the fact that our government is corrupt. How in the world could she be a computer genius and not know of the many crappy things that the government has done? I guess she doesn't use the internet like the rest of us. Jack almost fights to exhaustion, and while he's taking his cigarette break, Amala rings in to see if he's okay. But just as Jack confirms he is, 13 interrupts, revealing that he has been on that frequency most of the game. 13 expresses that the Deathwatch games were more than just a game. Before, they would have major things at stake like territories and countries. Now that this is not a thing, it's pretty much just a bunch of gladiators killing themselves for the audience's amusement. 13 stopped Deathwatch in 2001 because of this. But some new guys came up and offered him a vision of Deathwatch that he believed in. But then it turned out to be the 2 guys, Noah and Leo, didn't do what they were supposed to do. At that point, 13 tells Amala to look into the Springvale conglomerate for the connection they're looking for. Amala checks up on it and finds that Springvale conglomerate's lawyer secretly purchased a lot of the Deathwatch facility. The Bureau surmises that the conglomerate was trying to recoup their losses that they gained from illegally backing a politician, which sent their stock into a nosedive. However, if they're a conglomerate with a pharmaceutical company, I doubt they would be hurt that much. I mean, all they have to do is synthesize a drug, patent it, and then raise the prices on it so only a few people can get it without having great insurance, right? Anyway, now Jack is at the top of for the last kill seeker, which is the Black Baron. Alright, so I don't know what was going on, but this is editor Youssef. I must have been sleepy when I wrote the script, but let me try to fill in this chunk of the story here. So right before Jack goes into the ring, Amala gets in contact with him and lets him know that the Springvale Pharmaceutical Company was behind everything. She used the tip that Lord Guesser gave her, and she just, followed the breadcrumbs from there. Apparently, Springvale Pharmaceuticals had illegally donated to the last political election and was exposed, and then everybody who had their stock just kind of gave it up, so it tanked, and they lost a crap ton of money. So in order for them to recoup their losses, they came up with this Deathwatch scheme, and that's why Lord Guesser was not impressed once it got towards the end, because he thought that it was really deciding something serious, and eventually it was just deciding whether or not some pharmaceutical company was going to survive, like they wouldn't make it. Pharmaceutical companies are notorious for scamming people who really need pharmaceuticals out of their money. You know what I mean? So, whatever. Now, at the beginning of this story, Amala was some sort of black woman unicorn that had some sort of positive outlook on the government and that they'll do the right thing for everybody. And Jack takes his time in smashing her ideals into dust. I mean, sorry for going racial on this, but there's absolutely no black person in the United States of America that doesn't believe that the government is corrupt. None. Ask every black person you know. If you're a black person, already know this shit and give me a thumbs up. You know what I mean? There's Amala being the girl with her head in the clouds doesn't make any sense. She's a computer person. It doesn't. Anyway, black hackers notwithstanding, Jack is a man of action. He has to get to the top of this tournament in order to meet all of the people who organized the tournament. That's the way it works. Jack is definitely supposed to bring in those two guys to the Federal Bureau of Investigation and let the FBI do their thing, right? However, Jack doesn't quite believe that the FBI will do the right thing, and that's where the story gets interesting. So that about covers it. Back into the scripted story. Anyway, now Jack is at the top of for the last kill seeker, which is the Black Baron, the man that hosts the whole tournament. I don't know why I didn't see that coming. Anyway, that's the end of the plot summary, and please enjoy the ending. It's actually a pretty good one.
Get into the full to your scrotum. Ha you got me!
We do this? All right, let's do this.
And now it looks like the Baron's bitch is gonna get some payback.
Who's the bitch now, Baron?
Ooh, when the bat connects with a brain-scrambling hit to the head.
I guess it's goodbye for Matilda. Hate to see her go, but I love to watch her leave.
Yeah, some real sweet cheeks on the gal, and she was damn handy with that bat, too. Speaking of which, Jack's got the bat in his hand and murder in his eye.
And the bloodlust is building in the bleachers. Now the choppers are bringing in the man darts board, and we all know what that means.
A big fucking finish.
Yes, but I think Jack's got a little unfinished business first.
The Baron doesn't even know what planet he's on.
Pretty soon it won't matter. That's right, Baron. What's good for the bitch is good for the bastard.
I wonder how he likes being on the receiving end of a pimp slap.
1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. Time for that big fucking finish you were talking about.
Absolutely. This is what we've all been waiting to see. Jack winds up.
The crowd is going crazy.
He swings.
And connects the center of the dartboard.
And the Baron is history. Howard, this crowd has gone absolutely apeshit.
All right.
These fireworks are a fitting end to an explosive evening of murder and mayhem. Outstanding performance from Jack. What do you think's next for him, Kreese?
I don't know, a beer, some beaver, and a big fat sequel.
Speaking of beaver, it's time for us to split. This is Howard Buckshot Holmes
and Kreese Creeley
saying thanks to all the players, the viewers, and of course, our sponsor.
And we'll see you in hell.
You know, I still...
Congratulations, Jack. Champion once again. At our considerable expense.
Sucks to be you. Maybe you weren't meant to be in the bookie business. You could try something else. Polo, maybe.
It's a thought. So is this. Kill him!
Okay. The hell's his story?
Jack? Jack! Are you okay? Jack? What's going on?
Looks like I'm the one in need of a rescue.
Jack! I'm glad I made it in time. I saw you go into the tower, so I snuck in after you.
You snuck in?
What?
I'll give you credit. You ran a pretty good line of bullshit. But in the end, it smelled exactly like crap. You were the one who set all this up. You and your daddy's company. It's all about publicity, isn't it, Leo? What better way to get the word out about a killer virus than release it on an entire city? Funny coincidence your company makes the vaccine. Why, any self-respecting country would pay whatever you asked if the alternative was annihilation.
I want my lawyer. I've got nothing to say to you.
Not even one little thing? See, I was wondering, why Deathwatch? If getting word out about the virus was the goal, why risk an uncontrolled element like the games?
Jack, you're here to arrest me, right?
No.
Better hurry or I'm gonna die on you.
Oh, Leo. Poor little Leo. I'm no champion of justice, and I'm certainly not its bitch.
What? You mean you're just using the Bureau? That's a laugh.
Oh, come on, clear your throat and answer my question, douchebag.
My dad wanted the vaccine. That was his.
You just...
It was fun, Jack. That's all. I can have anything. Drugs, women, but the game. Jack, the game. It was the best, Jack.
Ah, so that's why you were there. Just had to be in the thick of it, didn't you? Wanted to feel it on your skin.
Now, help me, or I'm gonna...
You know?
I don't help people.
Nice.
I kill them.
I hate this part of town. These billboards are a fucking waste of money.
Self-centered credit horse, if you ask me.
I didn't.
All right, guys. All right, everybody, that was the video game plot summary of MadWorld. Now, let me go ahead and say this first off. I've gotten a comment or two about how I'm talking during the ending. I'll try not to talk during the ending, or at least turn the mic off and run my mouth like I normally do, because I have gotten in the habit of saying random things when there's complete silence. So I have to, hit that mute on the mic. So my bad. I'll try not to do that in the future. Anyway, so the whole story of this game is, to me, awesome. Usually you start seeing, problems with the game, and there weren't too many ways I could interject during the video game plot summary and complain about something that didn't seem right. The government is corrupt. Pharmaceutical companies are always trying to screw people over, so they were a good villain to have. You can also put in like a douchebag kid who doesn't, have any empathy for anybody else, who's basically a low-key psychopath. And, what is it? Basically Captain America gone wrong. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody raised like the Punisher, but he doesn't think everybody should die. But at the same time, he doesn't feel like the government's going to do its job. I think that's pretty much par for the course, especially the times we're in now, I guess. There's really no faith in the government handling what they're supposed to handle. I guess some people do, but, I'm not really here to be that political anyway. That's really all I gotta say that I haven't said in the video game plot summary. It's a masterpiece. The art direction, the voice acting, the way they did the motion capture, even though the characters couldn't really move their hands that much or do anything, everything seemed really natural. And Jack came off like the coolest dude ever on the planet. Real talk. The fighting got a little repetitive, but once the fighting started to get repetitive, they just, added more. Well, they ceased a little bit on the jokes, and they added more story to help you move along. Like it's just masterfully done, especially on the Wii, of all things. So anyway, the other game that Jack Kamen is in is a game called Anarchy Reigns. So they didn't make a sequel to MadWorld. However, they made Anarchy Reigns and made him one of the driving characters in the story. Gave him a remix, made him look a little bit better, I guess, for the Xbox 360. It's kind of how they did with Max Payne between 2 and 3, that sort of thing. And it's dope. I did a video game plot summary for it as well, but I've been holding off on putting it up there since MadWorld is the first introduction of Jack Kamen, and then we'll go ahead and post this the next week. All right. So anyway, give me a thumbs up or whatever. Help grow the channel. We've reached past 100, so I got off my butt and I actually did one of these. Which I had done the scripts and everything for already. I just couldn't find the time, life. You guys know, if you watch YouTube regular, everybody has to give this speech. So please give me a like. Show this video to your friends if you want to remind them how MadWorld is. And there's also video game, like if there's any part of this video game plot summary that was unclear, my other channel, Dad's Free Time Classic Gaming or whatever. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm tired. it has the extra, the actual playthrough, so that you can just look at everything in its entirety. But anyway, and I work very hard on those videos too. Real talk. So anyway, you guys have a nice time until I see you guys next week with Anarchy Reigns and the continuation of Jack and Amala's story, which is gonna be awesome. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.